Hey, check it out. I just posted this old harmony on my last post. Check that headstock out. Pretty awesome, right? I guess they call that like Fender style headstock. And you know, there are some Fenders that have 6-on-a-side headstocks from the 60s that were made by Harmony. I guess they branded them Fender. Some are also branded Harmony. But they're all made by Harmony. So this one came in with really high action. And you can see that bridge it's not very tall, is it? So I wasn't going to, well, I can't lower the saddle anymore, right? I guess I could have routed some of that top off that bridge, but these Harmony saddles are glued in there, and then you lose the slot once you've routed that. You find it again, obviously, and then you make a new slot with a router and a jig. It's a lot of work. You got to figure out what you're going to do for the least amount of work. I guess you could remove the bridge, take it down from the other side, glue it back on, but that's a lot of work too. And you always lose a lot of wood underneath a bridge when you do that. So my idea was to tilt the neck. That usually means a neck reset. And the whole neck comes out. And it's a sloppy mess in there of the dovetail, and you have to go through and reshape the dovetail, seat it again, seat it this way, right? And then seat it this way too. Three-dimensional. Tough. I've done it. It's pain. So I always try to think of better ways to do it. I mean, I'll do it with a Gibson, I'll do it with a Martin, but with a Harmony, that's not worth that much money. This is $575, by the way, completed and working beautifully with low action. So what I do is I take out this fret here and I cut through the fretboard, and then I slice this part of the fretboard off. I take it off, and then I can see the dovetail. The dovetail's like right here. There's always room below the dovetail. They always glue it from the top of the dovetail, not the bottom. And that allows me to put a shim below the dovetail. As I hammer that shim in, the neck goes like this. You want to increase the angle. And that lowers the action. You can even check the action without this part on, just by putting some strings on it, because that shim is hammered in there. Of course, I file it off, make sure it's level with the rest of the top, because this piece now has to go back on. Oh, by the way, binding too. A guitar with binding, that's all this binding here. I had to peel it all back, so it was all kind of back here somewhere. I kind of taped them to the body here. So you have all this binding coming like that, so you can get it out of the way, so then you can chop through, so you don't chop through the binding, right? So that's all peeled back. I think it broke, but I glued it back together. This side did not break. It's hard to keep it perfect because it's very thin binding. Whatever, it looks decent, right? It always breaks at the little dot because it's so thin by that point. All right, so then the binding goes back on, but here, no. This piece now is at the wrong angle compared to the neck, right? So I had to make these rosewood shims underneath the fretboard. And then I had to keep sanding them until they matched the angle of the neck, because the neck is now sitting at a new angle. If not, you get a weird shape at the body and high action at the body, because you just increased the angle here, and you got to do it there too. That's the slowest part, but I'm good at it. I'd rather do that. You got to choose your battles, right? So that's the one I chose on this one. But in the end, great action. Plays so beautifully, sounds great. Non-original pickguard came to me without a pickguard, and I just had that in stock, and it like matches the basic shape of the original pickguard. You can almost see the original shape. Definitely looks better with a pickguard. These are kind of boring without a pickguard, and I've seen them without the pickguard because they do off-gas and fall off. So yeah, that's a good, fix, that new pickguard there. So there you go. Silk and steel strings, I always suggest on these. Ladder bracing, it wasn't converted to X. These are all ladder, but I like ladder guitars, I think. That's a good sound. Punchy, especially with this silk and steel. I think it's fine. I don't play this and think, oh man, we got to do something else with this. This doesn't sound good. I got to X-brace this. I never think that. If I did hear a bad sound, I'd maybe jump into it. I know people take the backs off and they put X bracing. That's pretty good the way it is. But yeah, it probably would get even better if you did X bracing. So it's always that option. But this is 575. Beautiful player, great look. All right, let's do it the other way so you can see it here, right? I want to play something, but I can't do it. All right, yeah, so there you go. Fun guitar. And it has a hard shell case, a new Ibanez hard shell case. All right, there you go.